everybody. This is General Agave visiting you again. So today we've got an exciting one for you. Today we're going to take a first tasting here of Teremana. Now for those of you who aren't familiar with Teremana, this is the tequila that The Rock has invested in. As a matter of fact, they started a whole new nom number in Mexico, a whole new distillery under, I believe 1613 is the nom number. And what's really unique about this tequila is they give you a lot of information that you don't normally see on the back of most bottles. I mean, we're talking about carbohydrate levels, things of that nature, which I guess makes sense with the Rock's branding. It also happens to say that it is gluten-free, which is kind of funny because all tequilas are gluten-free because they're made from agave, right? Weber Blue Agave has no gluten in it. We're not talking about making things here from wheat. So that's kind of an interesting, I think, slight gimmick there. But I've heard some really good things about this, and we're going to take a look today. We're going to give it a try for the first time today. Now, this is the Reposado version. According to what I've been able to find out about this, and they've been kind of secretive about this, they do mention that it's in American oak barrels. There's been some talk that maybe it's been aged in bourbon barrels. Maybe it hasn't. For those of you who are not familiar with Reposados, we're talking about aging 60 days to a year. They don't have specifics on exactly how long it has been aged. If you haven't seen this bottle before, it's a pretty average looking bottle. I mean, it's nice. It's got a nice paper label. It's actually a gorgeous label. And even the back is pretty beautiful as well. It's got Dwayne Johnson's signature on the back. And it's kind of got an engraved Teremana on the bottom. But when it comes to bottles on the market, it's not the most attractive, but it's also a pretty decent looking bottle as well. So we're here in Ohio. And in Ohio, this bottle retails for just about $40, a little under $40. I've seen it go for $29.99 elsewhere. I'm excited to take a taste of this today and see what we got and share it with the Army out there. Yeah, I want you guys to remember always that tequila is in the eyes of the beholder, right? Everybody drinks tequila, enjoys their tequila in different ways. I myself prefer to sip my tequila, to drink it neat. Every now and then, maybe an ice cube. But the reality is I prefer it neat. But however you love to drink your tequila, by all means enjoy tequila the way that you want to enjoy your tequila. I'm not going to knock you for that. That's kind of one of our rules here in the Tequila Army, is to make sure that everybody enjoys the tequila the way they would like to enjoy their tequila. So there's lots of different ways out there. So this seal is tight. This is a really tight bottle. It looks like this is a synthetic cork. So, yep, I don't know if you guys were able to hear that or see that, but it's kind of a rubber cork. So that's a little different. So instantly, wow, I really get some cooked agave off the nose as soon as I open that bottle. Once again, Teremana Reposado. So hopefully if I don't like it, The Rock doesn't come looking for me. I see you, Dwayne. So let's now take a look here. Let's get a nice pour. We're going to really enjoy this today. It's actually rather light. So my guess would be that it's not aged for the full year in those barrels. My second guess would be, and I know some other people out there have mentioned that they think it is in charred oak, former bourbon barrels. But I'll tell you what, from the look of it, I'm not so certain that's the case, unless it was just briefly aged. So maybe it was in those barrels, you know, for maybe just over 2 months, because there's not a lot of color on it. It's actually not got a lot of rich color in it that you would expect if it was aged in something that was a charred bourbon barrel. Let's give that a smell. Oh wow. First thing that comes through is really that cooked agave. The cooked agave is coming through full force on this. There is some alcohol aroma too that you don't always get on a Reposado, especially if it's been well aged. But when it comes to that aroma, it's actually a really nice aroma. It's really sweet aroma. Very vegetal, very earthy. Definitely getting a lot of that cooked agave. So I'm kind of excited to try and see if it holds up. Because what I've learned over time, guys, is, you know, I started drinking mixto tequilas way back in the day. I think like most Americans, especially younger, drinking those Jose Cuervos of the world, and then moving onward and upward over time. And I've really, you know, was into the big añejos, the extra añejos. I think that's kind of a nice gateway for anyone who enjoys whiskeys and bourbons. is to really kind of step towards that aged product, and you get a lot of that oak and that vanilla and that caramel in those. However, over time, my tastes have changed a little bit, and I'm really starting to enjoy some of the reposados, a lot more blancos, where you're getting that true agave flavor. Because some of these ultra añejos, when you get to that stage of the game, some of that flavor's gone, right? You're getting more of that barrel and that oak and that vanilla rather than the cooked agave, which is really the kind of, I think, the essential thing to tequila as a spirit is really understanding and enjoying that agave. So let's give this a taste. I gotta get that one more smell in again. There's almost like a pear, a little fruitiness in there. Maybe a pear or even a pineapple. So all right, let's give this a taste. Interesting. So there's the pepperiness, there's a little bit of warmth to this. Which tells me again that it may not have been aged at the end of that year, that it might have been only a couple months in that barrel, because some of that warmth that you'll get will start to smooth and mellow out. Now, I'm not telling you it's harsh by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, it went down pretty easy, but there is a nice warmth to it. Very sweet, very, very sweet. A lot of that cooked agave flavor. Maybe some hints of vanilla coming through. There is a lot of that potency, that warmth, a little bit of that alcohol flavor, and maybe even a hint of a medicinal flavor as well in there. Almost like a berried licorice. It's actually got a very smooth mouthfeel. And from what I understand, you know, they're using handmade copper stills, which can also be key in that. Those copper stills can bring a little bit better of a mouthfeel to that tequila and round it out nicely in that process. So you can keep some of those natural oils. So the other good things about what they're doing at Teremana is they are cooking old school. We're talking old brick ovens. They're taking their agaves, they're letting them fully mature, putting them in those brick ovens, cooking them extra long according to the website, according to The Rock. He likes to say that they're cooking them extra long, which really, I think, keeps a lot of that true agave flavor. Now, some of you out there know, some of you in the Army are familiar with the real old school method of using the lava rock, the old Tajon, to grind that agave. They aren't doing that at Teremana. What they are doing is they're using a roller mill process, which is probably the closest to that Tajon you're going to get in the industry. So, that's not too bad. You really do get a lot of those vegetal notes. There might be some citrus coming in too on the back end, maybe a little lemony. Yeah, I think there's definitely some citrus coming through on this as well, which I like. Yeah, as it sits a little bit more, I'm getting a little bit of that lemon finish. A lot more of that citrus lemon than I'm getting of a vanilla that I've heard other people talk about when it comes to Teremana. This is actually pretty solid. Not one of my favorite reposados, but it's definitely, I think at that price point, especially if you're getting into the lower end of the 30, at the $29.99 range, it's definitely worth it. I could definitely see myself drinking a lot of Teremana at that price point. And encourage you guys yourselves to go on out, try Teremana, try a bunch of tequilas, join the Tequila Army. If you like anything that we had to say today, if you like learning more about tequila and enjoying the spirits with the Army, by all means, I encourage you. Make sure you click that bell, right? Get those notifications set, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to take a look at a lot more. And not only are we going to look at individual reviews of tequilas like Teremana's Reposado here, but we're also going to do some blind tastings. We're going to have some guests join us, as you've probably seen in some of our previous videos. But by all means, take a moment out of your day, relax, enjoy some tequila, and join the Army.